Feliciano, the Hall of Fame. So I hope you got the Jose Feliciano you wanted here tonight, Terry. Isn't it, it's great, isn't America great? And I'm delighted to be here to really just celebrate America, because that in reality is what we're doing here tonight. I was born in Yauco, Puerto Rico, 62 years ago. My mother, Doña Cielo, had a 4th grade education, and she was born in El Barrio Rancheras in Yauco. My father, Santiago, was from El Duey, way up in the hills. Patsy, yo soy un jíbaro pendinado. And my father worked at White Trucks for 30 years. I had 2 brothers, Roberto and Santiago. I had a sister, Libertad. We grew up on the near west side of Cleveland, 3604 Whitman Avenue, St. Patrick's Parish. I didn't speak English until I was 6 years old, and the Cleveland Public Schools said I was EMR. Sometimes my wife agrees with that. I was the first in my family to attend and graduate from college. I have a younger brother who's a lawyer. I have a younger sister who's a teacher. Let me try to be brief, and that's going to be hard, although Pope said I got 45 minutes, and Debbie Hansen said I had 3. This really is a spectacular honor for me, and it's really a double honor to receive this award with these distinguished guests. There are many who deserve my thanks and gratitude, especially my wife Molly and my 3 children, Jose, Rebecca, and Marisa, as well as my lovely daughter-in-law Kellyanne. And so too does my new immigrant son, who has a green card. My son-in-law from Tipperary County, Paul McAvenchie. So it's indeed a privilege to be associated with the International Hall of Fame and the inductees of those, and the inductees who preceded me. But I'd like to especially acknowledge and thank my inductor, Alex Winchesky, a man whom I've always admired, very prominent, high-profile, significant man in the history of Cleveland, who always took pride in his background, and as a result of that has always been a personal inspiration to me and to many others. And to be sure, we're all indebted to the Hansons for their vision of the International Hall of Fame. I wish too to acknowledge my beloved parents, Doña Cielo and Don Chago, who wish they could be here. My father, since he was among my best friends, and my mother, who in many respects instilled in me love of education and discipline. My friend Galen Iman reminds me occasionally how he used to enjoy my 5'2" mother chasing me around the house with a broom on those occasions when I would misbehave, and she would eventually get me underneath the bed. On this occasion, I also think of former Mayor Ralph Perk and Irene Morrow, and the incredible work that they did with the nationalities movement. And I think too of that I was the only Puerto Rican member of the Hungarian Businessmen's Club on Bucay Road. Let me quote my favorite songwriter, Rafael Menendez, when he said, if I were not born Puerto Rican, I wish that I had been born Puerto Rican. And I know each of you feels that way about your own backgrounds. America is a great country because we have the freedom to celebrate both the common values that we have in our country and the diverse backgrounds that we have. And you can embrace and celebrate your background and still be a good American. You can embrace and celebrate your own background and still be a good American. To me, the most noble of our common values is liberty. Nowhere in the world is the promise and the reality of liberty more real than in this magnificent country. I could just as easily be living in the south of Puerto Rico, the hills of Yauco, but for the many opportunities that this extraordinary country has afforded me. Let me thank, too, the Ursulines at St. Patrick's, the Marianists at Cathedral Latin, and especially the Jesuits at John Carroll University, who emphasized the 2 most significant elements of a human being, that is the soul and the mind, faith and reason. I also thank my law school alma mater, my MBA alma mater, Cleveland State University. All of these are magnificent immigrant schools. But most importantly, let me thank God Almighty for the gifts of life and faith and the goodness that He has afforded me and my family, and I thank to all of you. To be sure, the admonition of the evangelist Luke comes to mind. To whom much is given, much is required. All the inductees, to be sure, take seriously the privilege of servant leadership to our respective communities. And the older I get, the more meaningful the following quote is to me, which is the motto of the Hispanic Roundtable. You're going to know this Milt, Rabbi Hillel. If not you, then who? And if not now, then when? Because at the end of the day, what Churchill summarized so well, something that we all believe. We make a living by what we get, but we make a life by what we give. So let me finish with these words of Emma Lazarus, words which I think are an inspiration to all Americans. It's on the Statue of Liberty. Give me your tired, your poor, your huddled masses, yearning to breathe free, the wretched refuge of your teeming shores. Send those, the homeless, the tempest-tossed to me, and I will lift my lamp beside the golden door. We close with one last thought. Help the weak. Thank you.